Hello and welcome to Mustang Gameday. Mustang News' partnership between Cal Poly Athletics and Mustang News to bring you our live pregame show for Cal Poly baseball. Today, the Mustangs are taking on blue-green rival UC Santa Barbara in the second game of their three-game series. Their final home series of the year. I'm here with Sawyer Milam. How you doing today, Sawyer?
I'm doing great. It is also the final Mustang game day of the 2018 sports season as Cal Poly is getting ready for the second game of this three-game series against Santa Barbara. They won the first game of this year yesterday with a 5-3 victory.
Absolutely. We got a jam-packed show for you guys today featuring Cal Poly's Sports Information Director Erik, one of the most knowledgeable people about Cal Poly athletics in, I think, Cal Poly's history. But first, let's toss down to the field to check in with sideline reporter Megan Healy. How you doing today, Megan?
Hi, I'm Megan at Baggett Stadium. Behind me, the UCSB Gauchos are warming up to take Cal Poly in this last home stand of the season. Some of the seniors will be leaving us. Lots of memories here at Baggett Stadium, so I'll be talking to some fans about their favorite experiences spectating the Mustangs. Check back with me a little bit later, guys.
Thanks, Megan. We'll check back in with you very soon. So, first, Sawyer, what do you think that the Mustangs are going to need to do to be able to take on or to be able to get the win today over the Gauchos?
So today, the starting pitching matchup is going to be very key. Darren Nelson, freshman, versus a sophomore, and Chris Lincoln both have about the same amount in each pitch and have the same amount of strikeout ratio. So they're going to need a lot of help from their infield, and so they're going to have to limit a lot of that. And Cal Poly's going to have to step up offensively. There's going to be definitely a lot more hits, a lot more runs than yesterday's game. I mean, Cal Poly lucked out. They scored 4 runs in the first inning. That was that was enough, as their pitchers did their job very well.
Absolutely. So let's take a look at what the Mustangs were able to do yesterday to pick up the win against the Gauchos in their first game of this series.
And in the first inning, Cal Poly came out ready to play, scoring 4 runs in the first inning. Kyle Americans and Alex Mckenna started out hot with 2 singles to lead it off, and then with them on the base, it's freshman Tate Samus. He looks like he's about to bunt, but then he rips a single to left center field, and Alex McKenna would score the first run of the day for the Mustangs, making it 1-0.
Yeah, and Tate Samuelson's come up big multiple times for the Mustangs this year, their leader in RBIs. Here, later on, Skips rips a double to score 2 more runs for the Mustangs. Skips has been absolutely on fire since coming back from his injury earlier this season. Would have been great to see what the Mustangs could have done with him in the lineup this whole year.
That was his 9th double of the season in just 21 games played.
Yeah, and so later on, we see here that Bradley Beasley pops out for a sac fly to score Skips to make it a 4-2 game.
But Santa Barbara came back on top of the next inning. This single scored 2 runs for the Gauchos, making it a 4-2 game.
With the runner advancing the second on throw home.
And then in the top of the 4th inning, this pitch from Trent is absolutely crushed by the catcher, Thomas Rowland. We will talk about him a little later on the show. That ball was way hit, well gone, over the wall for a solo home run, making just a 1-run game for his 4th home run of the season.
But that was as close as the Gauchos would get to taking the lead from the Mustangs in this game, as they led from start to finish throughout the entirety, eventually extending the lead later on to 5-3 with an infield single by Scott Ogren to score Elijah Skips.
Yeah, and that would be enough, as Trent Shelton allowed only just 3 runs and 6+ innings pitched. Austin Donovan came in, allowed no runs or over 2 innings pitched, and then Taylor Dollar comes in, gets his first save, and that will be the ball game for them. As Cal Poly won 5-3, their 7th straight win over UC Santa Barbara.
Absolutely, and they've been kind of finding their groove here at the end of the season. A lot of freshmen like Taylor Dollard have been really coming around for the Mustangs this year. I think going forward next year, really, they have a lot to look forward to with some of these young freshmen on the team.
Yeah, they have a lot of return. Only 6 seniors will be leaving this team, and a few juniors will be drafted this year. So they have a lot to build off last year, and especially with their game performance on Tuesday and yesterday. They're looking to continue that momentum they're building on and looking for the future. It looks bright for them.
Absolutely. So let's take a look at the 3 keys for today's game. The Mustangs, as we mentioned, have been absolutely on fire at the plate. 15 runs against Pepperdine Tuesday, 5 more runs against Santa Barbara last night, which is going to be our first key today, is keeping those hot bats going, keeping that momentum on the offense. And you know, that's going to be really important for this team that isn't super sound defensively or on the mound. They're going to really need to put up a lot of runs.
Yeah, they did that well yesterday, scoring early, but they need to keep that going. After that first inning, they only scored one more run the rest of the game. If they can continue that momentum and get some more runs, more hits throughout the game, they'll have a much better advantage and a much safer cushion for their pitcher.
Absolutely. And our second key of the game is going to be building off of a strong start, which we saw yesterday and again on Tuesday earlier against Pepperdine. The Mustangs jumping out to early leads in both games, putting up runs in the first inning, and that hot start will kind of set the tone for the rest of the game for the Mustangs.
Yeah, and it also goes for their pitcher as well. Darren Nelson, last couple starts, hasn't gone past 5 innings pitched, so we're looking to get 5 innings, maybe 6 innings out of him, and then the relievers going to have to come in, do their jobs well to make sure that they get a strong start, they get a quality, only a couple runs in. And then it also takes us to our third key here.
Yeah, and our third key is going to be base path awareness and infield awareness for the Mustangs. And that goes for both sides of the ball, really, as the Mustangs are going to need to watch out for the Gauchos on the base paths as they lead the conference with 47 steals. However, Nick Meyer behind the plate, defensive stopper with one of the best arms I've ever seen in collegiate baseball.
And for Cal Poly as well, they lead the Big West in double plays grounded into, so they're gonna have to look for it on the defensive end, be smart on the base pass, and also when they have runners on, take advantage of those situations.
Absolutely. So today we are going to be looking at.
Yeah, and after this, we're going to be hearing from yesterday's pitcher Trent Shelton, who's pitched over 6 innings. He got his 5th win of the season, allowed only 3 runs, only 7 hits, so very good start for him, and we're going to have to hear from him after this break.
In this day and age, everybody gets their news from social media, and my team's pretty much in charge of making sure that Mustang News has a great presence across all social media platforms. Whether that's Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, or Snapchat, we want to make sure that our news is reaching our audience. At Mustang News, we're truth tellers. We're student media, but we're going to do our best to tell the truth of our people and the voices of the Cal Poly campus.
Thanks for coming in for the interview.
Oh, yeah, of course.
All right, we got your personal references, your resume, high school diploma or equivalent.
Skip the drama. Get your diploma.
Yes, it's right there.
Great.
Take that first step towards a better future. Find free adult education classes at finishyourdiploma.org.
Hey, this job looks perfect. It says you need people skills?
Check.
Driver's license?
Check.
And a high school diploma. You've got one of those, right?
Skip the drama. Get your diploma.
I got that.
You are good to go.
Take that first step towards a better future. Find free adult education classes at finishyourdiploma.org.
Hello, welcome to another fresh edition of Poly Playbook.
We're serving up all the hot action, cool plays, and everything in between for Cal Poly Athletics.
I'm Connor McCarthy.
I'm Nate Edelman.
I'm Brian Strong.
Poly Playbook starts now.
Who do you think will win the Super Bowl this year?
I think the Patriots are going to win.
Hi, I'm Joe Schatz, and I'm here at Spanos Stadium.
I'm Megan Healy here at Staples Center.
Myself will be taking on Sierra Highland, best pitcher in Big West softball history. Let's see how this goes.
Tune in every week to Poly Playbook, right here on Mustang News.
Welcome back to Mustang Game Day. We're had a last-minute substitution here. We're joined here by senior pitcher Austin Dondonville instead of Trent Shelton, but still made an appearance in Friday's game. How you doing today, Austin?
Good, man. How are you guys? Happy
Excellent,
to be out
excellent.
here.
Thank you.
We're doing great. So yesterday you came in for Trent in a tough situation. You know, had a runner on, and we were able to get the last couple outs of the inning and pitch into the 9th inning. What can you say about your performance yesterday?
I was happy with how it started. I love coming in for Trent. He's one of my roommates, and we're pretty close. So I was happy to come give him a big hug on his last night game at Baggett. So that was pretty sweet. Would have liked to be able to finish the game, but we got the W. It was a good team win, so can't complain.
Yeah, overall, what can you make of your team's performance in that game? A 5-3 win over, obviously, a rival in UC Santa Barbara.
Yeah, obviously playing Santa Barbara is always fun. We came out hot, scored 4 in the first inning, which was huge. So a lot of energy from the start. They were able to tack on 1 at some point and pitched pretty well throughout the game and played good defense. So it was a great team win. Lots of fun.
Yeah, lately you've been stepping up huge. In the last 3 starts, you've pitched 9 innings and only given up 2 runs. What can you say about what's got last series too? You were very key in getting a lot of those wins.
Yeah, no, I'm just trying to make the most of my time here as a senior. Like, baseball's kind of coming to a close for me, so I'm trying to treat every opportunity like it's my last and just have fun and playing with the guys and just throwing strikes and doing all I can do to help the team win. So.
And as a senior, as you said, sounds like you don't have a whole lot of baseball planned for your future.
Right.
What do you have planned for yourself after graduation? in just a few
That's
weeks
the
here?
million-dollar question. I'm still working that out. Yeah, I'm graduating with a degree in business management, so probably will try to find something within that realm, but we'll see. I don't really have a set plan for the future yet. My parents are definitely on me about that, but I'm not too worried. I know I'll find something. So.
Definitely.
And what can you take away from your last 4 years here at Cal Poly? What can you take away from your time on Cal Poly baseball?
Oh yeah, no, I've learned so much. This has been a great experience. Definitely enjoyed my time here. And baseball is a game of failure, and it definitely teaches you how to be resilient and just you always got to work hard and keep pushing forward. And yeah, no, it's been a great experience. I've definitely learned a lot being a student athlete here at Cal Poly.
Absolutely. And one other thing that I wanted to pick your brain on a little bit was about a player who's not currently on the team this year, but I know that you were very close with him, is Spencer Howard.
Yeah.
Early pick for the Mustangs last year in the draft, 2nd round pick by the Phillies. He's been doing pretty well so far in various rookie leagues and stuff. Have you kept up with him?
Yeah,
Stayed in touch?
absolutely. No, Spencer and Erik both. I lived with both those guys last year. It's actually Erik's birthday today.
Oh,
so
really? Cool.
Happy
Well,
birthday,
Erik.
Happy birthday to Erik. Yeah. No, Spence. Both those guys are killing it. They're striking a ton of dudes out and throwing deep into games, and it's definitely fun to follow those guys and stay in contact with them, and definitely wishing them the best in this year.
So yeah, this is the last home series of the season for you guys. What's it like to pitch for the last couple times here at Baggett?
It's emotional. This place is awesome. It's definitely my favorite place to play ever. This field's beautiful. The surrounding area is beautiful, and yeah, definitely a bit emotional out there this last weekend. Gonna miss these guys in this place for sure.
Okay, well, that's all the time that we have for you today on Set Austin, but
cool.
Thank you for joining us, and good luck today. And when we come back, we'll come back with sideline reporter Megan Healy to give us another update from the field.
Sports is mostly good news, and a lot of the time, a lot of the other news we get isn't necessarily good news, and so I think that it's kind of a nice break from a lot of the other not so great things that might be happening around the community and on campus. I think that good journalism is objective and informative. It is as unbiased as possible, and I think that Mustang News does a really good job of that, reporting about the incidents on campus without necessarily putting a spin on them.
Every day across America, excess food is gathered by a network of good people at local food banks, giving hope to millions of children who struggle with hunger. They've earned their wings, and you can too. Together, we can solve child hunger. Support Feeding America and your local food bank at feedingamerica.org. Every day across America, excess food is gathered by a network of good people at local food banks, giving hope to millions of children who struggle with hunger. They've earned their wings, and you can too. Together, we can solve child hunger. Support Feeding America and your local food bank at feedingamerica.org.
There's one thing you can never have sex without.
It's not something you buy.
Or something you take.
In fact, there's only one way to get it.
It has to be given to you, freely.
It's consent.
Because sex without it isn't sex.
It's rape. Consent.
If you don't get it, you don't get it. It's on us to stop sexual assault.
Learn how and take the pledge at itsonus.org.
And we're back here with Mustang Game Day, joined again by sideline reporter Megan Healy, bringing us another update from Krukows. How's it going down there, Megan?
Thanks, guys. I'm sitting here with some loyal fans here, Rachel Kennefic and family. Who do we have here?
Matthew Kennefic.
Chris Kennefic.
All right, you guys. So how long have you guys been season ticket holders?
8 years.
8 years. Wow. And both of you are Cal Poly alumni, is that correct?
Yes.
So a little bit, we were talking earlier, and you have a cool job that you do with the Mustangs. They're very involved. So can you tell us a little bit about what you do after the game?
Yeah. So I pick up balls in the cages over there, and the first year I did it, my friend invited me down there. So I've been doing it ever since. So that's been about 3 years.
3 years. Okay. And how do you like it?
I think it's fun because some of the players go down in there, and it's fun because I can talk to them and I know a lot of the players, and it's just fun.
Do you have a favorite player?
Alex Mckenna, Bradley Beasley, and Colby Barrick.
Nice. So this is the last homestand of the series, or the season. What has it been like to come, because I've seen you guys almost at every game, if not every single game. What is it like to be loyal fans to come out here? What's the atmosphere like, just general experience?
It's just fun. Coach Lee runs a great program. The guys on the field play good ball. They're very personable, so it's really easy to root for them. It's just fun.
And I assume you guys are going to be coming back next year?
Absolutely. Same seats, if not better ones.
All right.
I don't know that they get any better than this, though.
I don't think so on this beautiful day. Well, thank you guys so much. Enjoy the game. Megan Healy reporting live for the last time in Baggett Stadium. Back to you guys.
Thanks, Megan. It's been a
Cue
pleasure
the
to have
cheers.
you as our sideline reporter.
Yes,
So-
as you can see, the baseball family stretches from all ages. There's a lot of alumni, a lot of kids out here at all the games, chasing foul balls, all things like that. So the Mustang family really incorporates everyone.
Absolutely. And one of the main keys of the Mustang family for the last few years has been, as we talked about a little bit earlier on the show, catcher Nick Meyer, who has played various positions for Cal Poly here, but primarily a catcher, and even spent some time with Team USA. I recently got the chance to do the Walk the Bases segment with Nick Meyer. Let's take a look. Hi, I'm Erik Engle here with Cal Poly catcher Nick Meyer, ready to walk the bases. Let's get going. Let's go. So, fairly recently, I saw you call a game from first base. That's a pretty high level of trust there that the team has in you.
Oh, yeah. We were struggling a little bit on Tuesday, and I think we struggled a little bit on what sign we wanted to put on, and Coach kind of just looked over to me, and I was just comfortable with getting the sign from him, and I just gave it over there at first base.
Definitely. You and Coach Lee have had a lot of interaction together throughout the years, obviously here at Cal Poly, but also in international play with Team USA.
Yeah.
Tell me a little bit about that experience with him.
It was awesome. I mean, that was one of the best summers of my life. Having him there kind of just capped it off. I mean, shared a lot of special moments I'll never forget in my life, like going to Fenway, saw a game with him, sat right next to him. So I know we've been together for 3 years now, and we have a pretty special bond.
Definitely. So in your time here at Cal Poly, I've also seen you backdoor quite a few people, even some at second base from behind the plate. Obviously a big tribute to your game is your defensive prowess. How's that alter the game plan for opponents?
I think it's tough for some opponents. I mean, especially early on, my freshman, sophomore year, a lot of teams like to be aggressive, and I kind of would just be right aggressive back with them, and as soon as you kind of throw a couple guys out, they shut down the whole running game. And this year's been a little bit tough. I haven't really got the chance to backpick many people, just surely because they kind of know what I've done my first 2 years, but it's fun, it's electric, it gets the fans in it, it gets our defense, helps your pitcher out, and it's always good when you can cut down, get some outs.
So you recently, throughout your time here at Cal Poly, you've had various hairstyles, a lot of interesting facial hair, and your hair was a lot longer before too. Recently cleaned up a little bit. Any particular reason why?
I had to cut my hair for this summer playing for the was forced into that. I wasn't happy about that. But facial hair, I'm always a big mustache promoter, and some guys bought it this year, but I don't know, I might spice it up and grow something out for the last couple months here, so we'll see.
Anything in particular on your mind for what might be on tap with the next new hairdo?
I might try to go with the whole full beard. Not a good look for me, but we'll see how it goes. Maybe throw some dye in there and see what we got.
Definitely. Another recent change that you made was your walk-up song. So can you tell me a little bit about why you changed your walk-up song and in particular why you picked the new one that you did?
It's by Alonzo Ball, and I always play in the locker room, and my teammates always laugh and think I'm an idiot, but I don't know, our team loves it, and I played it, and people got into it, so I just said, screw it, put it up there, and it's actually kind of a banger. It's pretty loud, it's a good one, but Alonzo Ball's my guy, so I gotta show him some tribute.
Last question here. When playing teams like the UC Santa Barbara Gauchos, what do you do to really get up for that game, for a rivalry like that?
You don't need to do much. I mean, it kind of does it for you. Every year, I mean, we're 6-0 against some of my class, and so we know that playing against them, they're a big rival. We want to show the fans that we're better than them because we are, and we want to sweep them again for a third straight year. So it's pretty easy.
Awesome. Well, this has been Walk the Bases with Nick Meyer. Thank you for joining me.
Thank you.
So, as you can see, Nick Meyer, one of the key players for Cal Poly's team right now and going forward, and kind of a quirky guy, too. When we come back, we'll be joined by Cal Poly's Sports Information Director and vocal legend, Erik.
I manage a team of MMJs, multimedia journalists, who cover all news on campus, from administration to student life to any protests that happen on campus. We really just have our finger on the pulse of Cal Poly. Journalism is reporting on the facts at all times because we have to, regardless of whether or not people may disagree.
The inherent right to work is one of the elemental privileges of a free people. Endowed, as our nation is, with abundant physical resources, and inspired as it should be to make those resources and opportunities available for the enjoyment of all, we approach re-employment with the real hope of finding a better answer than we have now.
Donate to Goodwill, where your donations help fund job placement and training for people in your community. Of all the things you've done with your bike, donating it to Goodwill may be the most incredible of all. Your donations help fund job placement and training for people in your community, which means your stuff can be more powerful than you think. Goodwill. Donate stuff, create jobs.
I never felt all that special. But in the wake of an earthquake, we can all do something. When donating goods, it's hard to know what's needed. So now it's my turn to help. Aid workers can spend me locally, or I can help save lives. Someone is doing better because of me. Together, we made that happen.
Cal Poly Athletic Communications personnel, Erik. And how you doing today on this lovely... Absolutely. Well, we've been looking forward to having you on.
How long have you been working here with Cal Poly Athletics? Well, this particular stint for the last 16 years, 15 with the baseball program and 16 with football. I was here at Cal Poly in 1980 for 1 year as well. And before that, I was a student at Cal Poly. So I've been here in San Luis Obispo since 1969 in one capacity or another.
Yeah, and before your time with the Cal Poly Athletics, you spent some time as the sports editor for the San Luis Obispo Tribune here, the newspaper here in town.
There with Cal Poly then. I was there for 20 and a half years and I enjoyed every minute of it. It was just time for a change and time to come back to Cal Poly and do some work here.
What's your favorite part about Cal Poly?
Probably the interaction with the student athletes as well as the coaching staff. I am blessed to be able to work with Tim Walsh, the football coach, and Larry Lee, the baseball coach. They're two of the best coaches to work with. But also the interaction with the student athletes as they progress through their 4 or 5 years at Cal Poly. It's really amazing to see them progress from their freshman year all the way to their 5th year senior year.
And so there's several, as you mentioned, you've seen several student athletes come through here, more than several student athletes come through here. Couple guys on the team who are projected to go pretty high in the baseball draft coming up pretty soon here. Between Nick Meyer and Alex Mckenna, which one do you think you'll see have more success in the big leagues?
McKenna will be drafted higher, probably in the first 3 rounds. I think it's June 4th or June 5th, so just a couple of weeks away. Nick Meyer may go in the first 5 rounds as well. He has done a much better job of hitting this year, particularly in the second half of the season. So that has raised his stock quite a bit as far as the draft is concerned. And we're probably going to lose a couple of other players, maybe senior Trent Shelton. We will lose him anyway because he's done with his eligibility. And perhaps a couple more will get drafted. Larry Lee, in his 16 years as head baseball coach at Cal Poly, has something like 63 or so players drafted, and that's pretty remarkable for a school like Cal Poly.
Yeah, and then also, what do you see about the team's future? Who can you talk about, like some of the returners? What does the future hold for them?
Yeah, again, it depends on the draft. We took a pretty good hit in the draft the last couple of years, but this year we're hoping only to lose Mckenna and Meyer and maybe a senior or 2, and everybody else will come back next year. And that means that we'll have a very solid, position lineup, and all the pitchers on the pitching staff, with the exception of Trent Shelton and Austin Donaville and a couple others, will have another year of experience under their belt. So maybe we can put all the pieces together next year. We also have to shore up the defense. We've committed way too many errors this year. And if we can do that, we can make a run for the Big West title next year.
Absolutely.
Yeah, you're also quite the stats man, so we're going to put a little bit of that test to the knowledge. We have some trivia planned for you. You can look here on the screen. We'll have some questions popping up for you.
I know Joe Schultz over there, and I know he's thrown some real zingers in there for us, so go ahead.
So our first trivia question is, who led the 2010 team in batting average? Is it A, Mitch Hanniger, B, Bobby Crocker, C,
Luke
or
Yoder.
D?
Luke Yoder, and D is Adam Melker. Oh boy, 2010, huh? I'm going to go with Luke Yoder. And?
So he goes with C, Luke Yoder, and the correct answer is...
C.
Well, while we're waiting for that graphic, Luke Yoder is one who, in his senior year, set a number of school records at Cal Poly. He was one of those players who played here as a senior, 5th year senior, I believe it was, and was in the top 10 in so many statistical categories from Bakersfield, and a really great kid. But I don't know if I'm right or wrong.
Well,
sounds like you're right there with Luke Yoder, obviously.
The correct answer is B, Bobby Crocker. Close, but not Luke Yoder. So let's move on to our second question. Who holds the advantage all time in the blue-green rivalry?
Well, that would be
for
UC
baseball
Santa
specifically.
Barbara. Just for baseball?
For baseball
Well,
specifically.
Larry Lee has a winning record against UC Santa Barbara, so I'm going to go with Cal Poly.
And
that is correct. Cal Poly does lead that advantage.
Yeah.
So let's go with our third question. How many runs this year, or how many runs has Cal Poly scored this year?
Oh my goodness. 382.
Well,
we have some.
There we go. Okay. I'll go with 290.
290 is correct. Good guessing there.
Thank you. It was a guess.
Pretty on the ball with the stats as always. Got a couple more questions here.
All right.
This one's kind of a tough one. Which team drafted Mitch Hanniger out of high school before he came to Cal Poly? Was drafted by the Brewers out of Cal Poly, but who drafted him before he got here?
Yeah, I'm going to go with the New York Mets.
The New York Mets is correct. On fire today, getting all of the questions.
Yeah, Mitch
except for the
Hanniger
first
played
one
for
so
Milwaukee
far.
a little bit, not in the majors, and then he got traded to Arizona, played as a September call-up 2 years ago, and now he's having a great year.
Absolutely.
2 years with Seattle Mariners.
And our final trivia question for you is, who is the highest drafted Cal Poly baseball player?
I know that one. Some people might think Mike Krukow. He spent a lot of time in the major leagues. Ozzie Smith, of course, had a great career with St. Louis and San Diego. My answer is B, John Orton.
That is correct.
Yeah, he's
and
the
a
catcher
little bit
for the
surprising
California Angels.
considering, you know, the couple of legends that we see up on that screen, and
Absolutely.
Ozzie Smith and
Ozzie.
Mitch Haniger. Ozzie Smith,
Mike
you know, the
Turco, yeah.
wizard, one of the best infielders defensively of all time.
Yeah, I got to see him back in the mid-'70s. He played here from '74 to '77, and then got drafted for San Diego. And he, I think, was the first player out of that draft class to reach the major leagues. He was not in the minor leagues very much at all.
No, not at all.
All right, so for your prize of answering our questions, we actually have a little prize for you. We wanted to thank you for all the work you do with us, for collaborating with Mustang News, all the interviews you help set up, everything you do to help this partnership work. We wanted to give you this frame.
Especially with a lot of us being seniors here for game day. A lot of us have worked with you through our time here, and we just wanted to kind of give you this as a way to say thank you to one of our favorite people to work with here at Cal Poly.
I appreciate that. I wanted to add also that, you know, sometime back in maybe 2005 or 2006, Mustang Daily did not even have a sports section. They couldn't find anybody to fill the spot as sports editor, and it has progressed from that day to what we have now. Mustang Gameday is doing a fabulous job of covering all Cal Poly sports, and we really appreciate all the effort of the people in this group, and we hope that we have somebody to carry the torch once you guys all graduate.
Absolutely, thank you so much.
You're
Next
welcome.
year, Sawyer right here will actually be leading the charge for us.
Very
So
good. Well, I'll be
it seems to
expecting
be
lots of
like,
emails from the next year.
yeah, this is definitely something that we're working on keeping here to stay going forward.
good.
Obviously, with
Thanks
your
again
help.
for all your
Thank
help.
you so much, Eric.
Thank you so much.
Take care.
That's all we have with Erik Burdick. Thank you so much for joining again. We'll be right back with Plume's predictions after this break.
So I'm in charge of making sure that the paper is distributed every Tuesday morning, because that's when the new editions come out. I think my job, the most important thing with my job is that it gets the papers out there for them to actually read. Without my position and my guys, my delivery drivers and my brand ambassadors, the papers would not be seen every week on campus, essentially.
Okay, so what would you bring to my company?
What do you need?
I need problem-solving skills.
I got through high school without a car, a phone, or a computer.
No college degree, though.
Not yet, but life's taught me a lot, and I'm ready for more.
Well, you're not the typical kind of candidate that I hire. But you are exactly what I'm looking for.
Your company could be missing out on the candidates it needs most. Learn how to find a great pool of untapped talent at gradsoflife.org.
Everybody has a dream. Mine was to see the ocean. And with a little help, I made it.
They said a bottle was just a bottle. That no one would ever notice me. But I knew I could be more. That one day, I would make people smile.
And welcome back to Mustang Game Day. We're joined again, as always, by Lauren Plume. How are you doing today, Lauren?
Excellent. How are you guys?
Great, great. Wonderful day out here at Baguette
Beautiful
Stadium.
Day. Love afternoon games.
Yeah, rare Saturday afternoon game.
Yeah.
I think this is the only one that they've had this year, starting in the
Except for
afternoon.
like a doubleheader. I think we've had like one doubleheader. Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yes, how are you doing today? You know, you're also one of the few seniors as well.
I know it's like my senior night too.
Yeah.
It's kind of Saturday afternoon. Yeah. But it's gonna be a good weekend. I'm really excited, and it's been a good 3 years. So yeah.
So let's go with some of your predictions and some of your thoughts on the game. Some of the key players have been really stepping up lately.
Absolutely. So Austin Dondenville, who was on earlier today, is one of the ones I kind of wanted to touch on. Austin has really, he wasn't really playing much at the beginning of the year. And actually, the funny thing is I worked for the Slow Blues this summer, and he pitched for the Slow Blues and was like our summer all-star. He was really, really lights out, one of our starters. But more recently, didn't really play at the start of the year here. But then Bakersfield, when we were away in Bakersfield, we were down by 8 runs, and then all of a sudden we went on a rampage, and Austin came in to pitch in relief and pitched scoreless innings, and we ended up winning 11-8. That was when Austin kind of became our go-to long reliever. He would come in, and this last weekend he pitched almost a full game in relief. He pitched 8 innings total in relief. So it's been really impressive to see him come up and show that he has cemented a spot as a long reliever, especially as a senior. I think that's really cool.
Yeah, his last 3 starts combined, he's pitched for 9 innings. He's only allowed 7 hits, 2 runs, and he's had 6 strikeouts. And last 2 starts, he had no runs, including last night when he came in for Trent in a pretty tough situation there and was able to really shut down Santa Barbara.
Yeah, no, Austin's impressive because he just has good command and he doesn't get rattled on the mound. He is a very centered person, I think. So I think he's a really good guy to come in tough situations because the team relies on him and they're confident in him. Yeah.
Let's talk about one of these other players. You have Tate Samus and also freshman third base / first base, kind of moving around in the infield, but he leads the team in RBIs. Talk a little about him.
Funny, another slow blues player. So I knew Tate was going to be a starter. I mean, I'm sure Larry also kind of was thinking ahead too and was like, oh, this guy's coming in and he's going to be one of our go-to freshmen. But Tate, over the slow blues season, also another lights out player, super impressive, comes in and immediately grabs that spot at first base. And it was a toss-up position. Skips was hurt at the beginning of the year, but we have lots of infielders. So Tate came in, grabbed that position, and has really shown himself to be a leader on the team as a freshman, kind of like how Bradley Beasley did in Kyle Americans before him the year before that. So it's been really impressive to see him come in and be the leader in RBIs on the team. That's very impressive. He's definitely, I feel like, a good contender for Big West Freshman of the Year. And
especially with some players like Mckenna, Meyer graduating, getting drafted, some other seniors leaving. He's been one of the guys who's going to be one of the leaders next year as a sophomore.
Yeah, no, definitely will be probably the team leader next year, depending on who's coming back, obviously. But, I mean, people already look to him as a leader, and he's only, 18, 19 years old. So, yeah, it's kind of crazy.
Hard not to when you have that type of production at the plate, and it's one of the few players on the Mustangs defense that doesn't rack up a ton of errors in the infield.
He really doesn't. I mean, it's first base, but he really can corral some really wild throws sometimes. You've seen him make those crazy reaches at first base to basically prevent runs from being scored, if not get the out. So yeah, it's a really impressive player as a freshman.
And now we're actually going to go over some of your favorite photos. You take a lot of photos for the Basel team. You also run their Twitter, but we're also going to look at some of your favorite photos.
Absolutely. All right, so this is a great one. This was our second time playing Gonzaga in a tournament in Arizona. And I love this photo because it's actually a pretty misconceiving. Blake Wagenseller had hit a ball that we thought was going to be a walk-off home run, and it fell short of the wall, and it ended up just being a double. I think it was a double or it was an out. I can't remember which one. But I love that photo because all the guys are so hyped. They're ready to run out on the field. Trent's face is like, oh my gosh, I'm so ready for this. But yeah, I like that one a lot. That's one of my favorite original photos I took there. This is a great one. This is Nick Meyer running home and evading a tag by the catcher, which is something he's good at doing as a catcher, is tagging guys out at home. But I really love this photo because you can see his body movement. He's trying to avoid that tag, and the player. I love how excited. I think that's Skips right there. How excited he is to see Nick come in. Yeah, it's a great photo. And then I think I have one more.
We do.
This is one of my favorite photos because it's so unexpected. That's Cam Schneider, and he is 6'8", and he's one of our pitchers, and only a pitcher. He does not play in the field. But I think this is the series against Dartmouth or Davis. I can't remember which one. And he was put in the lineup. Oh, it wasn't Dartmouth because Skips wasn't playing then. He was put in the lineup basically in place of our designated hitter because we didn't want to tell them if we were having a left or a right-handed designated hitter until the game started. And so he gets out there and they're like, yeah, you can go take some swings in the on-deck circle. And so he gets in there with 6 bats and starts taking hacks, and everyone's just like, what are you doing? But it was
Could
really
be a
funny.
little bit intimidating seeing a guy who's that large standing with 6 bats in his
where
hand.
have they been hiding him?
Exactly. Do you think it might have fooled anyone on the other team?
No, not at all. Not when you walked out there with 6 bats.
Absolutely.
All right. And let's get your final thoughts on tonight's game and your prediction for the final score.
Final thoughts on tonight's game. I think we just need to control the pace of play. Last night, I think that got away from us. Not on our pitchers, but when their pitchers were up, they really controlled it, and I think that is something we really need to take command of. Nick Meyer's really good at it at the plate. He comes up, and if the pitcher steps off once the pitcher's set, he steps off once. He like kind of plays that mind game a little bit with them. It's like he likes being in control of the pace of play. But last night, the pitchers for everyone else took control. That's like my biggest point to make there. But for final score, I think the Mustangs are gonna win the series today, and I think the final score will be, let's go 3-1 Mustangs.
Final score prediction from Lauren Plume. You heard it here first, 3-1 Mustangs. That's all the time we have right now for you, Lauren. Thank you for joining us in what is going to be our final Plumes predictions. It's been great having you.
It's been a great time. Thanks, guys.
When we come back, some more final thoughts from the rest of our seniors on staff and the conclusion of this year's Mustang Game Day.
The thing about broadcast is it's not just on paper, so now you're actually seeing people's emotions and their reactions, and I think you just really learn a lot by being able to go face to face and also have a camera and capture those emotions. And broadcast is so fun in my opinion because you can take what you see and show it to your audience and show them exactly what you're witnessing or other people are witnessing at the moment.
They told me a bottle couldn't dream, that I would never become a superhero. But I learned how to fly, just to come back in a new disguise and be the hero that I've always wanted to be.
You make me wear my bike helmet. You taught me never to run with scissors and to follow the swimming rules. You tell me to stay away from drugs, to always buckle my seatbelt.
So why do you keep a loaded gun in your drawer?
How safe is that?
You asked them to follow some safety rules. Now they're asking you. In fact, they're counting on you. Never let your gun get into the wrong hands. Remember, always lock it up. Visit ncpc.org.
And welcome back to Mustang Game Day. We not only there's 6 seniors on the baseball team. There's also some Mckenna and Meyer. Maybe some other players might be drafted, but there's a lot of seniors in our Mustang Game Day crew, and they had an opportunity to share their thoughts on their time with Mustang Game Day.
Are we rolling? All right. Funny you should ask that because I don't have anything prepared.
I don't know what's worse, set up or tear down.
There we go. I don't have to cry.
The first Mustang Game Day that we did this year was a complete failure. The TriCaster died and it was completely out of our hands, but everyone was just like completely devastated, especially me who was totally ready. But we kind of felt like athletes who had just gotten injured before a big game. But nonetheless, like we totally bounced back, full swing, best broadcast that I could have ever asked for, anchoring for the first time, and I can't wait to continue this passion into my future career.
I think the biggest takeaway I have from Mustang Game Day is that when I switched into journalism just about a year and a half ago, I didn't think that I'd be able to find a niche in the short time I had left at Cal Poly, and the crew at Mustang Game Day welcomed me in and gave me a family in a new department, and it just made my last year at Cal Poly one of the best years of my life.
Mustang Game Day really was my first introduction into broadcast at all. Being primarily someone who was worked with print throughout my collegiate career, Game Day really gave me a lot of confidence going forward in the realm of broadcast production.
Mustang Game Day allowed all of the sports fans and Mustang News, just like me, to follow our passion in a journalist field. We learned so much about ourselves as broadcast journalists and just about each other. I'm just so proud of the show we put together, and I'm glad I did it with some of my best friends.
So Mustang Game Day, my favorite thing to do in Mustang News and at Cal Poly, the collaboration, the family that we have created here. Mustang Game Day has grown so much, and I've loved directing, and directing has caused me to really want to do some sort of like that in the future, and I just can't wait to see it grow next year, and it's really, really taken off.
My biggest takeaway from Mustang Game Day is that there's so much positivity and passion revolving around the world of sports. We stuck around with 3 teams over 3 seasons for all their ups and downs and never saw one broken spirit. On behalf of the Mustang Game Day crew, I'd like to thank all of Cal Poly Athletics and all the athletes for their continued hard work and dedication to the world of sports.
Thank you so much to all the seniors, Lauren Plume, Megan Healy, Joe Schutz, Dan Dempster, Nate Elm, and Erik Engle. You guys have done so much in your time here at Cal Poly, and to see what you guys have done, I can't wait to see what you guys do in the future as you guys go through go and graduate. I am so happy what you guys have been able to accomplish. It is amazing.
Yeah, it's been wonderful working here for Mustang News and Game Day in particular. I'm excited to see what you guys do with the show next year, Sawyer. And just want to throw out a special thanks to the crew, directors, Nate Edelman, anchors Sawyer, and Connor McCarthy, Megan Healy, Brian Trong, and the rest of the crew, Justin, Jay, Dan. Everyone has, we couldn't do this show without all of these contributions from the entire staff, and it's been great ride with Mustang Game Day.
This has been an incredible season at Mustang Game Day. We expanded so much this year, from just football to basketball to Big West Tournament to baseball. It's been such an incredible ride, and I can't wait to see what we're able to do with it in the future, and as you guys have left such an incredible legacy here with Game Day.
Thank you, Sawyer. So, the Mustangs taking on UC Santa Barbara in the second game of this 3-game series. Erik Engle, Mustang News for Sawyer Milam and Mustang Game Day. Thank you. Have a good day.